Hey, Stone Industry, Rich Katzmann, Thryve Innovations here. Want to give you a really quick little demo slash tease of the new product, ThryveIQ, just released. So contact me if you want to get on the list. We are collecting Moreware users and Stone app users right now to help them convert to this magical product. So first things first, here is the screen. You launch it from any browser, especially your phone, desktop, whatever you'd like. And it has very much of a kind of a ChatGPT look. But what this is doing is it's taking only your data. So your Moreware data every 5 minutes, or Stone App in real time, QuickBooks data, Slabsmith data, HubSpot data, shared folders, employee information, puts them all into a data lake, and then allows simple questions, prompts to get answers out. So enough of me talking. Let's show you what this thing can do. So once you log in, you've got some left menu items here. It saves all of your old chats. You can create projects, which might be a group of prompts that your ops manager may use, your sales manager. But let's start asking this thing questions. This is all a live company, and I'm pulling live data. So first thing it does is it recommends based on what you've been doing, average square foot by customer type, different things you can do. Let's click on what is my dollars per square foot installed. So right now it's reaching out to all of your data. This is one of my favorite ex-Rockheads metrics, right? So basically we're combining install labor from QuickBooks with the amount of square feet installed from Moreware. And here's what we get. Install labor per square foot, 2026, $7.11 compared to $10.91 for last year. So good 34% increase. We always provide a table. This table is not all that interesting, but here's your 7 versus 10. Let's do another one. I'm going to cheat because I am a horrible typer. Everybody these days is going nuts with Taj Mahal. So let's see, how much am I paying for my Taj Mahal? Again, going out there, looking at all your purchase orders, figuring out by 3CM, 2CM, where you get the product, how much you're paying for Taj Mahal. And the reason I'm doing this one is there's a really cool follow-up question that we're going to hit right after this is done. So it's looking, it should only take a couple more seconds. There we go. So how much do I pay for Taj Mahal? Quartz Taj Mahal, your highest variant. So these guys have bought 430 slabs. Let's go to the table, probably easier. So they're paying $24.80 a square foot. For 3CM, here's 2CM, here's some brushed. So here's their whole list of what they're paying for Taj Mahal. Pretty cool stuff, right? You can always copy that question, copy the answer, whatever you need to do. This chart's probably not going to look that good. It kind of shows you a little bit of stuff. So really neat stuff. You can share all of these. You can download them to spreadsheets, all a piece of cake. Let's ask it. And again, I'm not a good typer. Let's stick with the Taj Mahal world and ask it about yield, right? So now this is going to be a little bit more of a complex question for the system, right? It's going to have to figure out how much was allocated, how much was fabricated, and presented and organize it all for just Taj Mahal. So as you can see, it probably takes 10, 15 seconds per question. The easier ones go a little faster. The harder ones take a little bit longer. But all in all, it moves pretty quickly. And then I promise I've only got one question after this and we'll end it so you can get back with your day. I'm going to continue to do these with different types of questions because, I mean, the possibilities are endless on this thing with what it can produce as far as your data. I mean, you can get into some really cool scoping questions. EBITDA. All right, what if I decrease my materials by 5%, my material costs? What's that do to my EBITDA? One of my favorites is, what happens if I reduce my revenue from my production builders by 10% and increase my direct customers by 10%, which are substantially more profitable? What does that do to EBITDA? So any type of questions you guys can think of to ask, this thing's going to go out, and if it doesn't give you an answer, it's going to tell you. One thing I didn't mention right here, we've got verified. So we go through an extra step to make sure the data is good. So it will only show verified after we've done this. And we're always 99% confident. We never put a 90. We never put 100 up there. So this one you can see is 95%. So something in the technology said, I'm really confident, but not 99%. So this is cool. Look, Taj Mahal is 62.7% yield. Pretty good. It tells you what the company as a whole is, so you can kind of gauge it by that. But when you go to the table, look, you can look at this. So here's all the jobs in January of Taj. Here is their yield, fab to allocated. But since these guys are selling Taj Mahal by the slab, right? Now all of a sudden their yield by slab is even higher. Here they're using some remnants. Here they must not have sold it by the slab. So some really good information there for you to kind of work with on, whatever project you're thinking about. One more for you, and then I'm going to let you go. Reworks, always a big thing. What is my rework percent for 2026 and the major causes? And remember, this is all real data. This isn't, kind of a made up type of thing. This is actually going out, QuickBooks Moreware, all that good stuff. So that's why it takes a little bit longer to get some of these answers. Well, except for that one, that was really quick. All right, so reworks, what's it telling us here? It's saying for 2026, this company's reworks are 10%. Not bad, not great. It tells you the 24-month baseline is 7%. So that's kind of interesting. So they're not keeping up with where they've been. Sizing errors dominate. Splash wrong size, countertop wrong size. Template sourced reworks are probably next. So just some really good information. I always like checking the table. All right, so let's go to January of this year. 573 jobs, 53 of them had reworks. 63 had events though, right? So 10 of these jobs actually had twice the rework involved, and then it does the math on both of those for you. So just a quick tease on ThryveIQ. Reach out to me. I mean, guys, it's super, super inexpensive. And here's the benefits of what we're doing. Once we build your data lake to get all this information, obviously you're off and running with IQ, but then all of the additional products that are coming down the pipe, layouts, CAD programming, scheduling, all of that good stuff, all uses that data lake, right? So the implementation costs to you are greatly reduced. The speed to implement it right there because we've got all the data. So reach out to me, Rich Katzmann, Thryve. Thanks, everybody.